Yeah, we've got another clip from Fox Nation and Judge Jeanine's exclusive interview with Daniel Penny, the Marine vet revealing what he would say to the jury who cleared him in the subway chokehold death of Jordan Neely.
A jury of your peers, Danny, felt unanimously, beyond a reasonable doubt, that you committed no wrongdoing. What would you say to them?
I'd like to give them a hug. I'd like to thank them. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it takes a lot of courage, especially in this climate in New York City, to stick up for me.
Yeah, Penny also answering a big question that's on the mind of a lot of people.
Will you take the subway again?
Yeah, and I have been. I believe in New York. I love New York.
Knowing what you know now, Danny, if you faced the same situation again, would you do it again?
Yeah, totally. I would not be able to live with myself if I didn't do anything in that situation and someone got hurt. I would feel guilty for the rest of my life.
Yeah, meanwhile, the crazies on the left are ratcheting up the hate and division over this verdict. Outgoing squad member Rep. Jamal Bowman, famous for pulling a fire alarm, posted on X, "Dear white people, I don't know why I feel the need to keep talking to you. I don't know why part of me still has hope for you and for us. Some of you are too far gone, but maybe enough of you aren't and will join us in fighting to end white supremacy." And the BLM leader who vowed riots if Penny was cleared, yeah, well, she's flying into a rage about race. Watch this.
If Jordan Neely was a white man, we'd be saying it was an opioid crisis. He was hungry. He was mentally ill. He had a muffin in his pocket. What about a white man during cross-examination who said that he was afraid of Daniel Penny, the one who poured water onto his head and said that he was afraid? He was a white man.
Yeah, okay, so... And
what about the Latino man who was holding his arms?
I'm not the one identifying everyone by race. You are.
Judge, I need to go to you first. What did you take from Daniel Penny's reflection about the courage of the jury, and he'd do it again?
You know, it's interesting because Danny said that he wasn't a political person. He says it in the interview. He says it's not something that I normally follow. But he was savvy enough to understand, in spite of that, that it not only took courage for this jury to do what they did, because he knew that this was a political, like a pipe bomb. They were trying to make it about race. And he recognized the courage, and he said he wanted to hug them. And I got to tell you, you know, there were camera guys in there, and there were a lot of people in there, floor people, and guys cheered up when he said that he wanted to hug them. He is as honest, as believable, and as credible as anyone I have ever met. And, you know, he was beaten by the system, and he talked about the system. He said, you know, the system isn't serving us the way it's supposed to be, which I thought was a lot coming from him as well. But he had the, and I said this yesterday, the stoicism of, you know, someone who could be stoic with all this chaos around him, but he also had the courage of a lion, that he knew that was deadly physical force. And I just want to say one thing to these bozo idiots.
Yeah.
Number one, it's not about evil white supremacy. The truth is that Jordan Neely, an African-American, a black man, was on a list of the most needy, mentally ill, homeless people in New York City, most resistant to help, a list of 50 out of 8 million people. Where are all these do-gooders trying to help him get off that list? Where was his family trying to help him get off that list? And Jamal Bowman, part of the reason that you lost is because you didn't do anything for your own constituency. He could have done something. You know, there's a homeless minority that is terrifying people in New York City. And, you know, this guy, Jordan Neely, was jacked up on K2. It took 3 men to hold him down, a black man and a Hispanic man. It took a black and a Hispanic and an Asian to convict him. There were blacks and Hispanics on that car. Stop making this about race. If you're too stupid to understand the justification law in New York, keep your mouth shut.
Jesse, we've said at this table since I've been here this week, this idea that maybe him being found innocent would not stop people from stepping in. But I kind of see it the other way around. He was still put on trial. He was still charged and put on trial. You saw the judge make moves that kind of put against his favor. And now there are people giving him death threats. So even though he was found innocent, is the result of all of this that people in New York are saying, you know what, better not step in because I might get charged too.
Well, I've canceled all car services going forward, and I'm taking the subway now just because I just want to be out there in case. And my mother raised me to have good manners. And so when Jamal Bowman writes a letter to white people, I think I have to respond. So I wrote a letter to black people.
No, you should write a letter to him.
Dear,
Do I hold your hand? Okay.
dear black people, this letter is in response to Jamal Bowman's letter to whites. But first, some housekeeping. We love Harold.
Please don't put me in.
Thank you for sharing Harold with us. He's an absolute delight. Bowman, on the other hand, is too racist to serve on a jury and too anti-Semitic to serve in Congress, and I feel bad for him. And I'm sure he would like me if we met, but that's probably not going to happen, so please talk to him. And after that, let me know any whites you'd want me to talk to, and I'd be happy to do it. I have some whites in mind. Thank you so much.
Yeah, end it there, Jesse.
But in all seriousness, the judge is absolutely right. This man was a ticking time bomb. Yep. Bragg should be recalled.
Yep.
And for anybody that doesn't live in this area, that has no idea, never been on a subway, you are underground in a prison cell, and you're going 50, 60 miles an hour. And if some guy comes on there and starts threatening, there is nothing many people can do. It is a scary scene.
Dana, Eric Adams came out and essentially was supporting Daniel Penny. But at what point does the city take action and actually make things like riding the subway safer so you don't have to have Daniel Penny?
We were talking about the system not working. Well, the system's not working for the taxpayers and the people who are trying to go to work every day because the subway's not safe. Just a couple of hours ago, downstairs, I watched two NYPD female officers having to deal with a guy that I'd seen 2 hours before sleeping in the middle of the floor. He's homeless, and they were being gentle. They were being kind. But if that guy had been like, what are we supposed to do? And for the lady from BLM, don't you want everybody who's trying to do the right thing and go to work and school to be safe? That's what Eric Adams is talking about. That's what Daniel Penny did. It shouldn't fall to Daniel Penny to have to do that.
Exactly.
And by the way, before Jamal Bowman was in Congress and pulled the fire alarm so that he could try to affect a vote and got caught doing that, he was a public school teacher.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Right.
Remember, yep.
All right.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.
Peer. She always tries to stand out among her peers by working harder. Unanimously. The proposal was unanimously approved by the board. Ratcheting up. The company is ratcheting up its efforts to expand into new markets. Supremacy. The country fought for naval supremacy during the war. Riot. The police were called in to control the riot that broke out downtown.
If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date with future videos. Thank you for watching.